Hi, welcome everybody, it's Mike Newton here, and in this video here we're going to have a first little glimpse at the brand new driver that Cobra are releasing, which is the King F9 SpeedBack driver. So just as I'm shooting this video, Cobra have just released some images of the brand new driver, which is going to be launching mid-January 2019 here, but we're going to have a little quick look, sort of see what's happening with the Cobra and which sort of technology they are going down with their new driver for 2019. So just before we jump into the video, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then please do so. The subscribe button will be up there somewhere. Also hook up onto my social media channels, my Instagram at MNGolfCoach, and also my Twitter, which is the same at MNGolfCoach. So let's talk a little bit about this SpeedBack, and we'll see the name SpeedBack in the back section of the driver head here, and it's a sort of a raised back section, and it's sort of cut off, and to me, as I first looked at it, it reminds me of the Ping Vortex technology, which again is all about sort of aerodynamics. So we're seeing with the Ping maybe the turbulators on the top, the Dragonfly technology, the little bit of it's like rougher back sections of it, and then the Vortex. It's all about airflow over the driver head, and I'm seeing that similarity here with the Cobra, with those little raised bits on the top there, again helping with trying to keep airflow tight to the driver to get it efficiently smooth. Running over it obviously makes the club head travel a little bit faster through the air, and obviously that that SpeedBack section there is a similar sort of technology, albeit that hasn't actually got the cavity in there that it does with the Ping one, but it's giving that sort of aerodynamic flow through the air. So the other big change we see with the new SpeedBack driver is the lofts. Now, in previous models for a number of years now, Cobra have offered a one-fits-all in a way, in terms of one head, and then it was all dialed in lofts through the neck sleeve through, I think it was around a sort of maybe 8 degrees through to sort of 12 degrees, something like that. So basically you had all the loft options in one neck setting. But obviously as you change your loft options, you are going to sacrifice a little bit of face angle, so sometimes maybe very difficult for that extreme loft change, maybe for certain golfer who doesn't want to see that face angle doing what it's doing. And I know they had that smart pad system which tried to sort of stop that face angle pointing in a different direction in a way. Now the new SpeedBack is actually going back to more 3 loft options. So there's 3 heads. There's a 9 degree, there's a 10.5 and a 12 degree, and then they are adjustable from those lofts, which for me I think is much better. Definitely see that from other brands where you can fine tune, get in the right area of loft, but then just slightly tweak that loft up or down just to get that little subtle fitting process of launch and spin, and then that little bit of face angle if it helps that particular player. But if that particular player doesn't need that, then sometimes you go into the loft that doesn't actually require that, and then you don't sacrifice that face angle. So I think that's a really good advantage and change from Cobra. Again, I need to get this in my hands and obviously test it, but just read up on that. I think that makes a lot of sense to me, and I think will be definitely a beneficial move from Cobra there in terms of me for a fitter through a fitting session, but also for the consumer. So from the lofts there and the neck setting, I think from what I gather, you can still move up or down in loft by up to 1.5 up and 1.5 down. And obviously there still is also upright settings, which I think is a great setting for a lot of golfers. Maybe struggle with that left to right shape, change that lie angle, or maybe that little bit of that toe strike. The upright setting is a very good option for those particular golfers through a fitting session to try and help control strike and also that shot direction. Okay, so moving into the face here with the new SpeedBack driver, and we're seeing a dual roll technology, which we've seen in previous models. So basically this is where the roll from the top to the middle section of the golf club is a different roll to the middle to bottom section of the golf club. Of the club face, should I say. So this is going to help with those miss hits, and these will change as you change in the loft of the driver. So obviously that 9 degree driver, when you catch that low in the face, sometimes that typical golfer would tend to have a little bit more speed. So when you hit it low in the face, as we know, that increases the spin. So that's where that low in the face strike will try and keep that spin number down and still get that ball traveling forward on that low in the face strike. I know that would be interesting for me because my miss tends to be a little bit low in the face. So that'd be an interesting one for me to test and see how that holds its spin or maintains its spin in terms of keeping it down and not sending it too high, because we know when we get the high spin off that one off the bottom, it creates that sort of weaker ball flight which we tend to lose a lot of distance on. And then when you move into the higher lofted clubs, so again generally the golfer who wants to try and launch that golf ball, when he hits it low in the face, generally doesn't have the speed there to keep the ball in the air. then that's when that low in the face strike will try and generate more spin to keep the ball in the air. So the face is sort of suiting between the 3 different lofts there to try and help that particular golfer with that particular sort of speed to try and make those miss hits ultimately a lot better. So yet again in the SpeedBack driver we see the CNC milled face that we saw introduced in the F8 driver, which I think looks stunning. And Cobra saying it provides a more consistent spin number from strikes around the club face. A very difficult one, I think, to actually sort of test that, because obviously you've got to get the exact point of strike with one with a milled and without a milled and exact delivery and everything like that. So it's a very difficult one to sort of test. So we maybe have to sort of trust Cobra's word on that one in terms of the spin. But I think visually as you look at it, it does look a very cool looking driver face. So moving on to the movable weights here, Cobra have 2 movable weights, and it's the front to back movable weights here. So they haven't got side to side, draw or fade. I'm guessing they're going to have that in that neck sleeve in terms of turning that face angle to maybe account for that. But the front to back movable weights here is a 2 gram weight and a 14 gram weight. So obviously, as many of us know, putting that 14 gram weight in the front of the head towards the club face moves CG a bit sort of lower and more forward. That's going to help on lower launch, lower spin characteristics there, but as a negative to that, it can obviously make the driver a little bit less forgiving. And then obviously by moving the 14 gram to the back and moving the light one to the front with the heavier one at the back, helps to increase launch, helps to increase a little bit of spin, and it improves the MOI of the driver, hence a little bit more forgiving on those slight miss hits. So nothing really new in that sort of technology, but obviously through a fitting process, again me being a fitter, allows you to really sort of dial in that launch and that spin characteristics for that particular player and try and get those ball flight in that right window and with that right spin number to maximise his distance. So going back to the colour of the driver, there's a very yellow colour here, which I think looks pretty cool, to be fair. It's very different, it's very out there. Some are going to hate it, some are going to love it. And it doesn't surprise me that Cobra are doing this. I think through the past, you know, they've obviously brought out a lot of different bright coloured driver heads, haven't they? So there is that black with that yellow stripe underneath it. Now there is an alternative and maybe a safer colour that they are offering, which is called Avalanche, which is sort of like a slightly off-white sort of colour for maybe the guys out there who don't want that sort of bright in your face colour of the driver there. So there is that other safer option. So finally moving into the shaft options that Cobra are going to be sort of releasing with these drivers, and there's a few different shaft options, and I believe these are going to be the 100% real deal shafts, so there's no sort of watered down versions here. These are the real McCoys and the proper shafts that you would sort of to buy sort of separately basically. So for the player seeking that low launch and low spin, then there's the Atmos Black TS7 shaft, which is available in stiff and extra stiff only. Then there's the Project X Hazardous Smoke, which we've seen a few other brands jump onto this shaft, a very new shaft here from Project X, and that is offering more of a low to mid sort of trajectory there, and that comes in again a stiff and an extra stiff. So more of that middle of the road playing sort of shaft, which is going to be more of that mid launch, maybe that mid sort of spin number, plays a little bit softer maybe than the Smoke, is the Atmos Blue TS6 shaft, which is available in regular stiff and extra stiff. And then for the player seeking that higher launch, that higher spin, maybe for that slower swinger of the golf club, then there's the UST Helium 50 shaft, so 50 gram shaft, very light, and that's available in regular flex and then a light flex or a senior flex as maybe some other companies want to call it. And then finally the grip, it comes, as again we saw with the F8, comes with a Cobra Connect system in the top of the grip, so you can track your shots you're hitting out on the golf course through their system, which I think is a nice little bonus there for a particular driver. So as you can see, there's a lot happening there with the SpeedBack. There's a lot to offer there. I'd love to get my hands on it, and hopefully I will do soon to get some physical testing here. But I just wanted to maybe pop this video out, let you know what's happening with the new Cobra F9 SpeedBack driver. Interesting one there. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about. Let me know your comments down below. Feel free to fire some comments down below. What your initial thoughts of the driver here. As I say, we're only looking at pictures at this stage. Hopefully I can get my mitts on this driver and get some videos out to you as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching the video. This is the SpeedBack driver Cobra, launched in 2019 in January. So hopefully if you're a Cobra fan, you maybe sort of want to get your mitts on there, or if you're looking maybe for some speed, be interested to see that aerodynamics there, this could be a driver for you to use for 2019. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Always appreciate it, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.